So you probably heard this advice before. You get ahead of 99% of people if you do 4 hours of deep work per day, walk 10,000 steps per day, save 20% from your paycheck, exercise 3 times per week, sleep 8 hours per night, and read 10 pages per day. Basically, if you do this, you become successful. And if you don't, you won't. No, guys. To get ahead of 99% of people, you don't need to do any of this stuff. And don't get me wrong, it's great advice. These are wonderful goals to work towards, but it's unrealistic for the most. And in this video, I will give you a plan that will actually get you ahead of 99% of people. I actually posted about this on Pinterest and it got mini viral there. So here's how you actually get ahead of 99% of people. Now let's get this straight first. Yes, you need to work on your goals. You need to strive to become better and give your absolute best. But the problem with this advice is that it focuses too much on other people. To be ahead of other people is a terrible goal. The goal should be improving the quality of your life. So the key to getting ahead of 99% of people is not being ahead of others, but being ahead of yourself. Don't strive to be the top 1% of the society. Strive to be 1% better than you were yesterday so that someday you can be the top 1%. Most don't get ahead of others or even themselves because they think it's supposed to be hard, whereas you can actually make it really easy for yourself. So let's take this wonderful piece of advice, but tailor it to you, your life, and your circumstances. Maybe instead of 4 hours of deep work every day, make it 20 minutes of deep work every day after you come home from your 9 to 5. That will be 121 hours per year. 121 hours will get you already very well started and will get you ahead of many because most are doing nothing. Instead of making those 10,000 steps a day, make it walking 30 minutes a day. Yes, indeed, maybe it's not the advice 10,000 steps per day, but it's better than no steps at all. Instead of saving 20% from your paycheck, try to make it 5% or 10%. Okay, on sleep, we're not making sacrifices. Sleeping 8 hours a night is a must because sleep is the ultimate cheat code in life. Maybe instead of reading 10 pages per day, make it 2 pages per day. It's far more better to read 1 book a year that you read fully with intention, digest every piece of information and apply it to your life as well, instead of browsing 20 books a year and then barely remembering what you even read. Remember, quality over quantity. Perhaps you won't be ahead of 99% of people, but you will be ahead of the previous version of yourself. As I say, to be ahead of others is a terrible goal. The goal should be improving the quality of your life day by day. Create habits that compound after time. Don't be extreme, be consistent. Racing with others will eventually break you. It will cost you your mental health and well-being. And again, you'd be comparing yourself with others, which is just total waste of your potential. Remember, your actions today will define how your life will be in a year. Your body, your finances, and your whole life today is a result of what you did a year ago. Start with working 20 minutes per day on your dream life and soon it will be your reality. Start walking 30 minutes a day and then work it up to 1 hour. Start saving 5% and then work it up to 10 and then 20. Challenge yourself to run for 10 minutes per day and sooner or later you'll be running for 10 miles. Start reading 2 pages per day and soon you'll notice how you're reading 20. The secret to getting ahead is creating small, sustainable habits that work for you. They form the base and then slowly they level you up. Making drastic changes all at once doesn't work because it requires too much effort. It's overwhelming. With this kind of approach, you're in a constant battle with yourself, and the battle against yourself is the hardest battle there is to fight. But it certainly becomes easier when you do it step by step. Small steps are the ones that create momentum and then eventually turn into big jumps. So, here's your success plan to get ahead of 99% of people. Stop being extreme, be consistent. And to stay consistent, create small success habits that compound after time. You can create compoundable success habits that stick with you by 1. Picking one area of your life that you want to improve. 2. Detecting bad habits in that area. 3. Replace them with good ones. Start the replacement of bad habits by 1. Planning how you'll change the bad habits. Plan small changes for the better that are not too extreme so you can actually stay consistent. 2. Implement your plan by keeping a scorecard and never miss a day. Implementing new habits is literally just keeping a scorecard and never missing a day. After you've developed yourself to a point where this implementation of a new habit doesn't require any extra effort from you anymore, but rather comes naturally to you, you can repeat the plan with a new habit or area of your life. But there's one crucial part when it comes to changing habits for the better, and ignoring it often leads to failure for many. Perfectionism. Trying to perfect the change. I'm currently trying to start running in the mornings again. Every week I plan for myself that one morning in a week I run. But creating new habits, as we already know, is hard. So I had this thing that if I missed my morning run, I felt super bad because I was so focused that it has to happen. It must happen in the morning. And if it didn't, I didn't go for a run at all. Whereas I could have done it also during the lunch break or in the evening. Don't strive for perfection, but for taking action. Taking messy action is far more better than taking no action at all. Your life is a forever project, like a sculpture that you sculpt. It will never be ready because once you improve one thing, there is another thing to improve. If you want to make $1 million, you first start with making 10, then 100, then 1,000, then 10,000, then 100,000, then 200,000, and so on. And trust me, once you hit that 1 million, you will want more. And this applies to everything. To get up, you need to climb the mountain. You cannot just fly to the top. Of course, you could use a plane, but for that, you need money. And if you don't have it, then the only way is to climb. Once you start climbing, it gets easier in the process. Perhaps you might be able to skip the last pushes and take the plane. Often, we are our own biggest enemies. We stand in our own way of improving our lives. Our minds come up with all these excuses to not change or become better. And this is what keeps us from getting ahead of 99% of people. That's why you need to reprogram your mind to overcome yourself. And if you want to know how to reprogram your mind and finally overcome yourself, watch this video.